social media is no longer a brand new, exciting invention. Like all the various platforms from Instagram to even TikTok, Twitter, now X, some of them have been going on for 20 years, like YouTube. And if you've been using a platform for a while, you'll come to notice that there's like an unspoken etiquette or an unspoken rule of conduct. I'm not talking about the official terms of use or whatever. I'm talking about amongst content creators and amongst users, that there's like an unspoken etiquette that's unique to each platform, like a different culture and a different vibe. And recently there's been another online discussion trend, and this is pertaining mostly, I believe, to Instagram, how one can infer from somebody's online behavior, like the content that they post, their interactions with other accounts, the type of content that they watch and like and engage with, how one can tell from these signals what socioeconomic class they are. And obviously this topic comes at the intersection of everything that I'm interested in, which is like online behaviors, social media, trends, and just making assumptions about people. So this is coined as how you can tell if somebody is low class on Instagram, like low class Instagram versus high class Instagram. I think that title just says it all. My name is Teresa. Welcome to my sleepover where we chat about the weirdness that happens online. How you can tell if somebody is low class on Instagram. So before I begin, I feel like just mentioning the very word low class is like, it's a topic that is sure to get some of you all riled up and worked up. I just want to say, at the end of the day, guys, I have a cold, I'm sorry. At the end of the day, guys, don't shoot the messenger. These are not my personal opinions. I'm just summarizing them. But unfortunately, I'm so good at like method, I wouldn't say acting, but method video essaying, that people think they're my personal opinions. But if I have an opinion, then you will know about it. If you feel raw about this topic, then the comment section is there for you to express your creative writing. So now that I've gotten that out of my hair, let's get into this. So I've gone through and made the list of a bunch of people's crazy assumptions, by the way, of how you can tell if somebody is of a lower socioeconomic status, aka poor, based on their behaviors. I'm sorry, poor people. And by the way, who's making this list? Just a collective bunch of people with opinions. And one of their opinions is that they're elite tastemakers. So if right now in 2026, if you are heavily filtering your photos or heavily filtering your videos specifically, because now everything's video, with like a very obvious beauty filter, or even like the old Snapchat filters, like the puppy filter, or like I don't know if this filter even exists anymore, like the crown. You're like posting your face as if it's 2016, 2017, like 10 years ago. It shows that you are not attuned to the changes of trends in the platform. You're going to be swept away into the lowly, low class, low income Instagram group. Sounds so wrong. I don't know. Like, I don't like these words that are coming out of my mouth, but there it is. Again, just the messenger. These are not my opinions. And honestly, do not feel bad if you feel called out. Don't feel poor. I feel like I've like committed some of these crimes against social media at some point too. It's okay if you've like done these things a few years ago, but the question is, are you so unattuned that you are doing it now? If you're relying on the Instagram's Rio de Janeiro filter that makes everything look a little like tinted with yellow or sepia, then you're out. I don't know why they specifically called that one out, but when I saw the Rio de Janeiro filter specifically mentioned, it reminded me of somebody I used to know whom I stopped following on Instagram, not because she used this filter. So every single post that she posted on Instagram in 2018, 2019, she would slap a Rio de Janeiro filter on, but I stopped following her because she everything that she posted in her stories was very negative. I don't have anything against her as a person. Like, if we met again in real life, everything will be fine. But I just didn't want to see like a nonstop negativity. So I unfriended her because of that. Here's a question that is a little off tangent, but answer me this. Can you be friends with somebody that unfriended you on social media? Can you still be friends with them in real life? Is the unfriending like an enormous offense that you can't get over, that you can't be friends in real life? Or let's say you're like in my position position where you unfriended somebody? Do you want to be friends with somebody that annoyed you so much online that you've unfriended them? It's a hard question, but those are the takeaways. And like the hidden reason of why this is considered low class is because that person exhibiting traits of somebody who is trying too hard. And when somebody tries too hard, it is not considered cool. Let's say if you stumbled upon somebody's Instagram grid and they have nothing but selfies of themselves with heavy filters, you know, the beauty filter that adds on the falsy eyelashes or like gives you anime eyes or something, and they slap on a Rio de Janeiro filter, then it kind of shows that this person is unaware of the changes of trends on the platform. They're not with it. Filters date you because every filter, there's like a popular filter every season, every year. And if you're using some filter from the past year, like that's so 2014, that's so 2022, then it kind of like tells people can assume that you're still living like it's 2017 or it's 2022. It's hinting that a heavy use of filters, you are trying too hard to impress whatever your audience or something. It also kind of connotes that you have low self-esteem. You don't show your face as it is. Hiding behind a filter, you kind of have something to hide. One time somebody accused me of using like a heavy filter, and they said that like I didn't look real or something, but I don't really. I mean, I color grade. I kind of make the whole image a little blurrier, as if you're like you need glasses to see so that I could look prettier. My facial features are my own. And just to let you know, I went to Seoul, okay? I went to South Korea, and I came back with my original face. So if worse comes to worse, I could just go to Korea and get another face. I want the Jennie from Blackpink. Give me her face, and I probably will get her face, but I won't, you know, to prove a point. I gotta show my battle scars as an acne survivor. I came back with this cat rice ladle, but I came back with my original face. So I have like a lot of self-control here. So, you know, I happen to love my face, but I don't love my skin. So in addition to using heavy filters, if you're posting pictures, like obvious photos, like blatant gaudy photos of you flexing your wealth or your supposed wealth, if you're dressed in like head to toe Fendi, like a Fendi tracksuit and fronting in front of a luxury car, if you're like in a private jet, now we know it's a private jet photo shoot. You know what? You're not rich. You're just faking it. You're fake flexing. You can have a Turo account and you can rent that. Or it could just be like you saw somebody's Ferrari parked on the street and you decided to take a photo in front of somebody's Ferrari. I've seen, actually with my own eyes, I've seen there was this Porsche. I don't know what model it is. Porsche 911. I don't know. I don't know my cars, actually. There was this Porsche parked in front of a building, and every single guy, and they definitely look like a guy that would do this based on how they're dressed. They would have their girlfriend take a photo of them in front of somebody else's Porsche. So these guys were wearing pants with like these really big buttons on the back, and they could have scuffed up the paint with the buttons from their pants from leaning against the Porsche. And so I don't know where these photos are going, probably going on their Facebook or their Instagram. And if I were to see a photo of some dude with very decaled pants leaning against a Porsche, I'll have to wonder if that Porsche belonged to him. And I know it doesn't. So the elephant in the room here with like reliance on heavy filtering and photos of like just blatant flaunting of wealth. If you're truly rich, then you would not need to have to prove yourself and go to these lengths flexing your wealth online. You could be newly minted rich, you could be new money. That's like one exception. But in most cases, those who are rich would never show you how rich they are because it's a liability, it's a danger. But the elephant in the room here and what this low income Instagram is trying to assess is like a test of how with it are you to the trends of the platform. Do you have the social intelligence to distinguish that this flex was a vibe of 10 years ago? The flex, the new money influencer flex, was of 10 years ago. It's just like a heavily made up face was of 10 years ago. Nowadays, it's about keeping it on the down low. It's not so much an assessment of how wealthy you are, but about how with it you are. And then we could just make extrapolations from there that if you are still posting like it's 2017 and 2026, then obviously at this point, you haven't made it as an influencer. If you're like that blind to the shifting trends of, let's say, something as fluffy as social media, then are you that dense to the to the stock market? Are you like a very bad investor? Do you make horrible money decisions? If you dropped a lot of money on this fake influencer jet photo shoot, then you could have used that money and invested it in something else, like your education. Or if you're that blind to something that is like completely out of style, what else are you blind to? What else has gone way over your head? Like, let's say in the workplace, are you attuned to the office politics of like your higher ups? Are you socially intelligent enough to get that promotion? Or are you just doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result, like the Rio de Janeiro filter? So there's a lot of extrapolations and assumptions that one could go on, I guess, just based on if somebody is using a filter from 2014. Now, here's the confusing part. A lot of you who've watched like my past videos about social media and the evolutions of social media would say, but Teresa, I thought that everybody is now sick of that slick, glossy influencer 2016 look, and they want to post like it's 2012 again. You said that you have a fond nostalgia for like a Valencia filter and like the old way Instagram used to be. And I know it's confusing. It's kind of like we're in high school again, and the same high school politics of the cafeteria or the quad or whatever comes into play. This romper is like what all the cool girls are wearing. And I got this romper, but why can't I sit at their table? The reason is they're doing something special about it. They're like styling it in a cool way, whereas you're just wearing this romper. So while it is indeed true that everybody is sick of flexing, of sick of like the perfect travel Instagram shot, and people have moved away to like a casual, casual by name only photo dump, like a homage to when Instagram was fun. Now when you post casually, if you post actually like you did in 2012, then the cool kids will make fun of you. Okay, sleepover gang, I know this sounds really stupid, and honestly, it kind of is. It's like you post like you did in 2012, but with like a 2026 edit. Let's just say if low-rise boot cuts are back, you have some low-rise boot cuts from 2004. I've held on to these pants for all these years. Let me put them on again. No, it's not the same. It's low-rise boot cuts, but in a 2026 way. Just like photo dumps are an homage to like a 2007 college party photo dump. It's still curated, and if you didn't get the memo and you were to actually do a actual photo dump of everything on your camera roll, nobody wants to see 70 photos. It's 5 curated, carefully selected photos, each one meant to look like it was shot on an impulse or casual, but there's a lot of forethought about it. And you're like, Teresa, this is so much thinking. There's so much thinking over nothing. That's social media. Why do I want to participate in this? This is very shallow. Nobody's asking you to participate in any of this. I'm just talking. We're just talking here. That's just the vibe, like, just don't be surprised if you heard through the grapevine 2012 Instagram photos and a photo dump is in, and then you actually post like it's 2012 by slapping like Valencia Rio de Janeiro filter on your photos, and somebody that you don't know judges you hard. I'm just saying that when a trend comes back into style, whether that be pants, whether that be how you post on social media, photo style, it doesn't actually mean that that original thing has come back into style. It is this generation's homage or POV of that original thing. So what this conversation is saying, what is considered high class Instagram, there's a certain amount of curation involved, and or like a cohesive aesthetic or a cohesive image going on. Even if the images appear to look casual, know that it's there to look casual on purpose. It's a museum exhibit of photos, right? Like a photography exhibit. So if it's a photo dump, you start off with a weekend in Rome, kind of like a Dutch angle snapshot of the Colosseum, and then somebody's espadrille, and then some flowers, and then like some pizza. These 4 or 5 photos may all seem very random and kind of amateurish. It's conveying the message in a very subtle way that this person has enough money to go vacation in Rome. They can afford to go to Rome and eat pasta in Rome and buy flowers in Rome and eat a gelato in Rome. What's even, Even better about it is that they didn't even need to tell you. They didn't write like a whole essay in their captions. They just write something very vague. Maybe they just write the date. They write a quote in Italian, something very vague. They don't even need to explain it. But you already see from the images that they're living their best life. They're spending some amount of money. You know that in your heart. Plane ticket alone is an indicator. And because they're very subtle about it, nobody is accusing them of flexing their wealth. This is just a snapshot of their life. Then they get the gift of authenticity. The best thing that you can call anybody online, whether they're a private person, public person, the triumphant, label of being authentic. Another thing that I've heard called out, and this is very funny because several years ago I feel like I've committed this exact crime. You have too much information in your bio and you use too many emojis in your bio. And you have a link tree. You need to tell everybody every facet of what you are. Emoji, you went to this high school. Emoji, CEO mom of blank company, creative director of whatever company, you're self-employed. Multitasker ninja, mom of 4. Then you have a link tree to, I don't know, your social media marketing course, your Amazon affiliate links, 10% off dog food, 10% off goldfish crackers, 20% off code my personal vitamins or something. So basically, if your bio looks like you've stuffed all the links you could possibly stuff, you have too much information, it looks like you're a hustler. It also looks like you shill for anything versus like a more cleaner bio, like a high class bio would just have nothing. Maybe it would even be a private account with like 200 followers, 100 followers. Maybe there would be no description, like empty. The bio is empty, or just a vague quote, like an inside joke. Only people in the inner circle would know. If you know, you know. That's what people have been clocking. The amount of like 10%, 20% off codes and like the link tree. What it's psychologically saying is that high income, high class, you don't have to prove yourself. You don't want people to know too much about you. You want to keep everything in a cloud of mystique. You're financially comfortable. You're comfortable enough that you don't need to shill online for the affiliate link peanuts or whatever that people are trying to sell online. You're not trying to be an influencer. You're not trying to get views or anything. Your account is actually private, and you do stuff offline versus somebody with all that information in their bio, like they're CEO of like whatever fake sounding company. Like how many CEOs are there? They're trying to sell a course or something like that. I have a link tree. I still have a link tree. If anybody knows a better alternative to Linktree that is free, because I'm not paying for the premium version, I don't have that many links. I have like four links. But I am trying to I'm trying to sell books here. Like I am definitely guilty of having an emoji in my bio. When I heard that about like too many emojis in the bio, I went to my Instagram bio and I haven't looked at it in a time, and I looked at it and I'm like, oh my god, there's an emoji in the bio. I had a stack of books emoji and I deleted that emoji because I'm susceptible to peer pressure. So one of the other things is like what kind of content you engage with is a tell. So this is an assumption. I would think that if you are a user on YouTube and you are watching, I don't know, video essays that can enlighten you on a topic, you're more of like the highbrow, crowd. The highbrow crowd would engage in content that is educational, that can improve them in some way, shape, or form. Like booktube content. People throughout time have always loved to brag about what they read and show off what they read. Literary content, discussions about AI, the changes in our culture, what have you. But people have clocked that the more like low it just feels so wrong saying it. Feels so wrong coming out of my mouth. Low class, I would engage in more the term is relatable memes, banal inspirational quotes, celebrity gossip. Somebody who watches like a prank video or like an AI slop video or cute cat videos or like a otter. I don't know. The algorithm keeps pimping me this otter video, and I don't know if it's real or not, but I don't really want to watch it, but it has like millions of views. Once you start off watching an animal video, then your feed is going to be filled with animal videos until you could correct the algorithm. I feel like if you're watching, I don't know, like prank videos, you're either a kid, but if you're an adult watching a prank video, what kind of assumptions can you make about somebody in how they engage with online content, with how they engage in online behavior, and what kind of, we've already talked about like the content that they post and what kind of filters they use. Sometimes like on Instagram, they would feed me something outrageous that happened in the local news, or like something in my state. I'm not as interested in that video per se as in like what people are saying. Some people have commented some crazy unhinged thing, and then I would click on that person's profile and it would lead to their actual profile picture, and their Instagram grid is just like family photos and stuff, and it's like, do you even know how to use the platform? If you're going to be a troll, then don't do it on your personal account. Do it on like an anonymous account. I know that a lot of you who leave like mean comments, most of you are anonymous. And yes, sometimes I do check. Sometimes when somebody leaves a mean comment and it's like it really catches my attention, most of the time that person is smart enough to be anonymous. Like they know how to troll, you know. This is not their first time trolling. I guess in some ways that's commendable, but sometimes it would be somebody with an actual YouTube channel. Sometimes they have videos of themselves. Back in the day when I used to have a little bit more time on my hands, I would click on their profile and I would check out what the troll's all about. This is just like an interesting statistic and I just want to share it with you. Most of my meanest comments always come from like an anonymous account that either has no profile or has in their profile picture like a very dark, I think that it's like a screenshot from like some kind of game, like they're like gamers, not like a cute game like Animal Crossing, but like a dark game. I don't really game myself, so I don't really know what the game is from. Or it's like something that is like Star Wars related. I don't know what it is about Star Wars that creates such negativity. Then if it's not a gamer, then it's somebody with like the last time they posted on YouTube was from 2012 because I could tell from the video footage. You know, I stalk you. Sometimes I'll just get random mean comments from like old men because they use their full name and name is like Bob or Don or like Richard and they would have in their profile picture, I think it's the same picture from their Facebook photo because it's like a guy with a fish or like the guy with the selfie taken with a camera positioned here underneath his chin. You know what I'm talking about, like creepy man selfie. If I mispronounce a word, and it's bound to happen, sleepover gang knows I don't work off a script. I can't work off a script. I need to improv. 90% of the time, when somebody is a pronunciation warrior, if like I mispronounce something and then they like correct me in all caps, it's not this, it's all caps. This. It's not Dr. Martin. It's Duck Martin. That person is always 99% when I investigate female. So that's all I have for you today. Ooh, I don't want to even look at the comments. But you know, guys, it's a sleepover. We're letting our hair down and some spicy things is going to be said at this sleepover. If you've made it this far, then drop this peacock emoji in the comments below. And if you've enjoyed this video, please give it a like. And if you've enjoyed me, then consider subscribing to my channel. And I'll see ya next time. Do you guys remember a time when everybody was generating Studio Ghibli AI images of everything, including themselves? Like they'll just take their family portrait photo or like a selfie and then they put it through AI and like make it the Studio Ghibli. Is it Studio Ghibli or Studio Ghibli? Is it Studio Ghibli or Studio Ghibli? I'm like
I would look that up. I'm not entirely sure myself. And you'll either one you say, people are gonna be real mad.
I think it's Ghibli.
I think it's Ghibli as well.
Ghibli. No. And plug in the Studio Ghibli. And plug in the Studio Ghibli. I've been talking for hours, so if I say this wrong, I'm sure somebody will correct me.